So I was born and raised in Fresno. We had a farm, a family farm. With the farm, you're relying on something that comes from the earth. I became a civil engineer, then I became a geotechnical engineer which deals with the soil. It's come full circle, and I didn't realize it, that I belong with the soil and dealing with the soil. I'm a product of the CSU. I majored in civil engineering there at Fresno State, so I came down south, went to school, master's degree at UCLA. Then I stayed on for a PhD. My PhD thesis was about earth retaining structures in a seismic area. And I tell my students, no matter where you live, you're no more than 10 or 15 miles from an active or potentially active fault. So earthquake resistant design is something that becomes extremely important, and it's something that we teach. In terms of seismic resistance, a good example is the administration building and the dampers that they put on it. After I got my PhD, I went to work for 4.5 years. I was done with academics. And so I was working for several geotechnical companies in Southern California on big infrastructure projects. You're involved very early on during the planning stage, and then usually through design, and then you actually get to see construction. So there's a lot of satisfaction seeing something that you were part of built. I was fortunate to work on several large projects. A couple of them were the Getty Center, the East Side Reservoir, which was 2 earthen dams. The Alameda Corridor. I worked on the Staples Center, which I tell my students all the time. They get a big kick out of that. And a lot of these projects are kind of once-in-a-career type projects. Those are the big projects. And I tell my students that you're fortunate to live in a big, large metropolitan area. You'll have the opportunity to work on huge projects. You know, it really takes a lot of pride and joy of seeing landmark projects, because you know they're going to be there for 40, 50, 60 years. And they'll stand the test of time. And I've been fortunate in my career to work on some fairly large infrastructure projects. But I always was teaching on the side, first at UCLA and then at Cal State LA. The students, they keep you on your toes, they keep you fresh, always challenging you. As they mature and as their knowledge and skills grow in the field, and you work with them and mentor them, so I give them opportunities to work on my research. I do a lot of laboratory work and field work. So a lot of it's hands-on. A lot of times we can pay them stipends. We try to write papers with them so they expand their horizons a little bit, get opportunities to travel to conferences and things like that. The most rewarding part is when a student comes back and they say, "Oh, Professor Tufenkjian, I took your foundation engineering class, and what we're doing at work is exactly what you taught us. And, you know, thank you very much for that." And that gives me a lot of satisfaction. But I know a lot of students, because of their circumstance with their families they're helping raise, or they have to get a job, it's very difficult. So I admire them for having that persistence, and they just need opportunity sometime to really shine. And so that's what's I think most attractive about Cal State LA.